Hi, everybody. Today we are starting a new series here on the podcast, and it will be featuring stories from the Center for Education Abroad's very first Story Slam event that was held on February 29th, 2024. It was an open mic event where true personal anecdotes surrounding the theme of global stories were shared, and we're very excited and honored to share them here with you. This episode is given by Nancy Chin, who is a professor here at the U of R, and the study abroad program she'll be talking about takes place in a very small Italian village that has hosted U of R students for the past 10 years. And the story that she'll be giving us today is paying homage to that.
Buongiorno. So I entitled my story Unearthing Connections, because I'm an anthropologist and you need a colon in your title or it's not real. A story of mystery, murder, and family roots. My grandparents were born in a small village in the Dolomites called Borca di Cadore. It is a place of remarkable beauty. A mountain landscape of landslides strong enough to obliterate whole entire villages, snowstorms that freeze livestock, and a diet of potatoes fixed 100 different ways. The people here were and are resilient. They also had a reputation for wild all-night parties with music, dancing, singing, and drinking. A local poet said of them, they were so full of life that death feared them. I am delighted by their tenacity and their joy. I didn't set foot in Borca until I was 55 years old. Little did I know that the search for my roots would result in an ethical dilemma. Who could believe it? But just right outside of Borca, practically, a perfectly preserved mummy emerged from a glacier. He became world famous. The press dubbed him Uzzi, after the Uzzal Valley where he was found. Most people found Uzzi to be an archaeological wonder, but for me, it was personal. Was I related to the Iceman? I had to meet him. Determined to find a connection, I went to Bolzano with my friend Marta. Our destination, the Archaeological Museum. It was built around Uzzi and houses not just artifacts, but also his body. Standing before the chamber that protected his mummified remains, I gazed through the window at the ancient figure. Yep, that was a human, a 3,500-year-old human. He wasn't pretty. That's okay. We have some serious ugliness in my family, so that's a possible connection. Baldness is a trait in my family that we shared with Uzzi. My own Nono was bald, another possible connection. Room after room, I examined the relics of Uzzi's life. His clothes, his tools, his weapons, the bearskin hat that he wore, which bore some resemblance to my Nono's going to church hat. Yet other details, like his 60 tattoos, revealed nothing. Multiple tattoos just didn't jive with my family's sense of fashion. I'm the only one with a tattoo. It's Mount Antelao, the second highest peak in the Dolomites, and I only have one tattoo. And it turns out Uzzi's tattoos were medicinal. They weren't decorative. But it was sobering to discover that Uzzi had been murdered, hunted down at 10,000 feet and shot in the back with an arrow that severed an artery and caused him to bleed out. Was he a badass rebel resisting tyranny? I could relate to that. Or was he simply an unscrupulous person? I took one last careful look at Utsi through the window of his chamber and then walked to the exit. A big sign on the wall near the exit said, "No direct descendants of Utsi had ever been found." But they posed a question. If you were found to be related, a direct descendant of Utsi, would you let his body be displayed in a museum? My reaction was immediate and heartfelt. No, I would not let Utsi be displayed in a museum. Utsi deserved a proper, dignified burial in the cemetery in Borca with his family close around him. He deserved better than gawking tourists. It did occur to me that I had just been a gawking tourist. But we had learned so much from him. As an anthropologist, I was grateful that he was there for me to see. I still grapple with the complexities of science, heritage, respect, and my deep appreciation for him. And my obligations as a descendant. I wanted to be a good descendant as he was a good ancestor. I returned to Borca with a deeper appreciation for the mountain people who came before me, my people. I realized that all of us from the mountains, with our shared struggles of landslide, snow, storms, and potatoes, are all related to Utsi. Thank you.
We'd like to remind you that the opinions expressed by our guests on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Center for Education Abroad or the University of Rochester. Our podcast aims to foster dialogue, critical thinking, and exploration of various topics related to education abroad. We encourage listeners to consider multiple viewpoints, engage in respectful discourse, and form their own opinions. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our community.